Hi everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Please remember to like, share, specifically this message. I am going to need you guys to put your energy into this and share this video so that we can reach as many people as possible. The reason being that this is a very important message and it's a bit delicate, and so I'm just going to get right into it. I've been sharing about how I was a sacrifice, right? For the karmic family that I was born into, how I was to be a sacrifice for this coven, cult, secret society that is, doing their best to do whatever it is that they do. And this has been since I was a child, right? However, because I am someone who has a purpose with God, so like a chosen being, that's not possible for chosen beings, right? So, because of all that I've endured and coming to the realization that I am a chosen being, then I understood like what techniques they use to siphon energy, sacrifice young ones, right? What techniques and what it is that they do because I've endured it, right? So I've been noticing, specifically like on my Facebook, I see a lot of news about kids going missing, and these kids are teenagers, right? And so I share about like raising our frequency, raising our vibration, choosing to heal, because the time is now for us to do that, as we are in a spiritual battle. It's just that it's not being publicized, right? It's not being made public to anybody, and only the ones that have eyes to see and are involved in it are able to understand that this is what's happening. And so for those of us that are engaged, like actively, like in the battlefield per se, we understand what it is that's happening. So when these kids are disappearing and or taken away from their homes, we understand at a rapid rate, like at an alarming rate. We understand what's going on, specifically for me, because I was one of the kids that endured the traumas that go on when it comes to these secret societies and what they do in order to harvest the energy, and the things that the children go through, because I was, I was used as a sacrifice, except that they could do all those things to me, but taking my life was not an option, right? That doesn't mean that they don't try, or they're still trying, but it's just not an option. So because we are in a spiritual battle, right? And we as human beings, like I could come up here and this is what I look like, right? Because this is the vessel, this is the suit, the meat suit that I wear here in this realm on earth, to be able to carry out the role that I'm supposed to carry out. Follow me as I go through this, right? So the same for everybody else, right? Now, what we have inside of us, what we are consumed by on the inside, is something that's not visible to the naked eye, right? And then there's people who are masters at their craft, which means like, they're master illusionists, they're masters manipulators, right? And they can be consumed, or their body may be hijacked by spirits that are not so caring, loving, kind, nurturing, right? And so when we're speaking about secret societies, covens, uh, you know, for everything good, there's everything bad, right? But we're specifically speaking about the diabolical ones, right? The ones that practice sacrificing children, right? So those are the ones that I'm speaking on, because that is exactly what's happening. Due to this spiritual battle, these entities, they need to feed, right? And the more that we go ahead and we bring out awareness into what it is that they do and that we raise our vibration, the faster that they lose power. Specifically when they're sending spiritual warfare out, right? And then we are combating it with love, with raising our frequency, with not engaging, with teaching others about it, right? So they lose their authority, they lose their power, which means that they need to feed. And so the people that are their minions, that are out here supposed to be hunting, like, for the things that they need to harvest energy so that they could have energy to be able to do the basic human things. So we as humans do basic things, right? We get up, we shower, we go to work, we do things, right? So these entities that have hijacked these vessels, they don't operate like us. They have to be able to feed off, consume energy. This is why energy is our greatest currency. So if we're not using our energy, someone else will, right? Which is why I speak on healing. Okay, so the point being that it's a spiritual war, which they are obviously losing, and so they get desperate when they're losing, right? And the entities that they respond to, the God that they serve, they need to feed. And so they like the youth, the vitality of the youth, the innocence of the youth, which is why they target single women and children. And because these are organized people, secret societies, cults, covens, they have a whole bunch of people in high places where they'll have, somebody working on children and youth, where they'll set up a mother to get caught up with children and youth, create a case for them, and, send the mother to jail. And now the child's supposedly missing. You understand what I'm saying? Because now the cop that showed up to the scene, or the person that showed up from children and youth, it's connected to this coven. And so they need to feed. The entity needs to feed. The same thing with children going missing out of the nowhere, right? And if you notice, these kids are usually in their teens because they need vitality, youth. The younger, the better, right? And they like to have, if they don't, they'll create scenarios, they'll create cases for people so that they can get involved with the law, right? So that they could take the mom would go to jail, the child goes and gets put into the system. And from the system, they'll probably give the child to somebody who's already involved with them. Right? So I wanted to bring out awareness to this so that we understand what's happening. These people are getting desperate. They need energy. And the way that they gain energy is through harvesting it into it, also by putting in fear into humanity, doing diabolical things with the children once they get them, and the people that they bring in, right? There's a thing that they can create with fear. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I just wanted to bring out awareness so that we could be mindful, we could be extra careful, those of us who are parents, and be mindful of our children, right? And be mindful just also of how we are carrying ourselves, not, to put shame on anybody or anything like that, but just to be extra careful around this time, because there is a spiritual battle happening, and this is something that we've already won. We just need to, the time just needs to catch up. Time is an illusion. But in the meantime, protect the kids. Be extra careful with your whereabouts and stay on point. Look around. Specifically with this dating sites and stuff, don't go. Just get off the dating sites right now. Just get off the dating sites. Because these people they're not people. They're not people, okay? That's what we have to understand. They're not people. So I'll come back with the dating site part. Okay, I'm going to go to part 2.